We're opening with a public hearing. The purpose of the public hearing is to receive public input and comments on the city's plan to establish the bond point local development area. This is up to the public. You don't have to speak. I mean,
well, I'll explain a little bit, I guess, to council and the public. Really what we're talking about here is last council meeting, you approved the deal terms relative to establishing the development, a local development area for that area, which is up on 10th Street, and this property being developed by Red Knot Holdings, LLC. What we're talking about is creating the local development area and then pledging 50% of the count of the city incremental tax revenues over time to pay for some of the infrastructure and site development costs associated with that. This doesn't affect, it doesn't create any restrictions on property or anything like that. It's simply, as you know, with Manhattan Harbor, it's an opportunity to create development. For the public's input, we're talking about 20-something lots in that area that's being considered. And just for your information, the total area right now, based upon the 2017 assessment, is assessed at $279,000, and that generates currently to the city $1,385.71 a year in taxes. And so with this proposed development, assuming to move forward, you're looking at a development well in excess of $13 million. And so if this so that just the incentives for this will allow a project like that would generate significantly more revenue to the city and your other taxing districts without putting the city at risk whatsoever. So that's just what what we're talking about. And so I should have introduced myself. I'm Jim Parsons with Walford McKee and Cleveland, representing the developer Red Knot Holdings.
anyone from the public have any comments on this issue? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Welcome to the May 1st, 2018 Dayton City Council meeting. Donna, roll call.
Mayor Bresky.
Here.
Member Bolter.
Here.
Member Burns.
Here.
Member Geary.
Here.
Member Baker.
Here.
Member Haas.
Here.
Member Lynn.
Here.
City Administrator Giffen.
Here.
City Attorney Yesh.
Here. All rise for prayer and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, if anyone would like to address council, come up to the podium, give your name and address, so that you can address council.
My name is Greg Trotta. My wife actually owns Trotta's Steak and Seafood down on 6th Avenue. She apologizes. She's sick tonight. And she's actually been trying to come to one of the meetings for, I'm going to tell you, probably the last 3 or 4 months. And something always pops up. And she made arrangements to come tonight and got sick. She's like, you have to go. All right? A lot of you know my father. He's at the restaurant almost every night. So I told her I'd make him come. But anyway, she's been wanting to stop down, Mr. Mayor, okay, council members, just to thank you all, okay? You've given us some help with our rent, we appreciate it. It's been a struggle the first year, but it looks like we're finally at a point where we're going to start breaking out, and we're getting a lot of return business, and hopefully we'll bring in some good people down to the city. And we hope to continue that for many, many years. So we just wanted to stop by and say thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Especially that guy right back there. All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to work now.
What is your anniversary date?
We actually are starting our anniversary Friday, and we're giving the first wine pour for $1 and $10 apps. Our anniversary date is actually the 10th, and we're going to run it all the way through the following Saturday. So we're hoping to bring some nice crowds. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience?
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Bob Schrage. I live at 323 6th Avenue. And I wanted to come and introduce myself to the City Council. I am running for, nothing political here, I'll just take 1 minute of your time. I'm running for state representative in the 67th District. I just wanted to come and introduce myself to you. Again, the name is Bob Schrage, and I retired from the Northern Kentucky Area Development District as Assistant Director, where I worked for 27 years. And then since then, I worked as Director of Administration for transitions up the street in Bellevue, which some of you may be familiar with. In the last couple of years, I was CEO of a nonprofit organization in Blue Edge. And since then, this semester I've been teaching full-time in the Master of Public Administration program at NKU, and today I graded my last final, and I'm so happy that I couldn't overstate it. But I just really wanted to come and introduce myself. I'm a resident of Dayton. I've lived here for 4.5 years, and I absolutely love the community. I'm on the Comprehensive Planning Committee, which I'm very excited to be on that. And again, I just wanted to introduce myself. If I could, I'd just pass out my card that shows a little bit about me, and I'd be glad to answer any questions. And I just appreciate you letting me take a minute out of your busy agenda to do that. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else like to address council? Right, moving on. Need approval of the minutes from the April 3rd City Council meeting.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from the April 3rd, 2018 meeting.
Motion by Ben. Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. First thing on the agenda on order number 18, number 5, amending CCAP policies.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, municipal order number 2018-5R. A municipal order adopting the Attorney Grant Award policies and procedures for the Commercial Community Advancement Program.
Need a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve 2018 number 5R.
Motion by Joe.
Second.
Second by Bill. Any comments?
I do, sir.
Go ahead.
One of the discussions that I had previously with City Administrator Giffen and Mr. Yoder was on the sign lighting, and I am glad to see that that was now changed in this. I know some of the black signs aren't visible at night. I know Trotta's, Bucks, who else? Other businesses spend a lot of money to put lights up, and I'm glad that that is still in here. I do, and I'll repeat what I asked the last time that we revised the CCAP, and maybe this would be something for the Economic Development Committee with our city attorney. There's no appeals process. All decisions on whether or not to grant a CCAP grant are up to administration. Not that I don't trust them, but I have had merchants, potential business people moving in town that were denied for some reason or another, and there is no appeal. They can't come before council to appeal it. Now granted, we give the budget to administration to disperse, but I really feel that there should be some way for those people to appeal if they were turned down. I don't know if that's legally possible, but I asked the Economic Development Committee to look into that.
We're voting on this particular policy at this time. I understand, we can go back to economic development with that. That's not a problem.
But we can't add it at this point because it's a second reading.
Correct.
Understood.
Now, this is just an order. This ain't even to say, this is the first and last reading. This is an order. An ordinance is the first and second reading. So, anyone else have any more comments? Okay, roll call.
Member Haas?
Aye.
Member Lynn?
Aye.
Member Bolter?
Aye.
Member Burns?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Baker?
All right.
So ordered. Next order on 2018-6R, amending the city parking grant program.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, municipal order number 2018-6R. A municipal order amending 2008-6R to authorize the city to award monetary grants to residential property owners to add additional off-street parking spaces on their properties in the amount of $500 per parking space, with a maximum grant of $1,000 for 2 parking spaces.
Need a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to adopt 2018 6R.
Motion by Jeff,
I'll second.
second by Ben. Any comments?
I do, sir.
Go ahead.
You know I would. And I brought this up in the past again. We're encouraging people to do off-street parking, yet on many blocks, the alleys are need improvement. And I know that we have a very limited budget for paving, but with our fall paving planning, I would ask that some of these alleys, like the 600 block between 6th and 7th, some of the unimproved alleys in town, I know there are people that want to put a parking pad in the back, but there's no good way to get to it. That's it, sir.
Any more comments? Roll call comment.
Member Lennon?
Aye.
Member Bolter?
Aye.
Member Burns?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Baker?
Aye.
Member Haas?
So ordered. Next, order number 2018, number 7R, amending the interlocal agreement with Animal Control Services.
City of Dayton, Kentucky Municipal Order Number 2018-7R, a municipal order authorizing and approving an interlocal agreement between the fiscal court and multiple cities within Campbell County to acquire animal control services for participating cities.
What they did in this particular amendment is they added some cities to this. I need a motion.
Make a motion we adopt 2018 7R.
Motion by Bill, second by Joe. Any comments?
Believe it or not.
Roll call comment.
Member Bolter?
Aye.
Member Burns?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Baker?
Aye.
Member Haas?
Aye.
Member Lennon?
So ordered. Next on the agenda is the first reading of ordinance number 2018, number 3, franchise for use of public alleys and public streets and alleys.
City of Dayton, Kentucky ordinance number 2018, number 3. An ordinance of the City of Dayton in Campbell County, Kentucky, establishing a non-exclusive franchise for the use of the public streets, alleys, and other public grounds of the city for cable television, internet, or telephone services within the city, and providing the terms thereof. This ordinance established a non-exclusive franchise for the use of public streets, alleys, and other public grounds of the city for the transmission and distribution of either television, internet, or telephone services, or a combination thereof, through and for the consumption within the city, and provides the terms thereof. And that's the first reading.
Okay. Next is ordinance number 2018, number 4. These numbers were changed because we deleted one. It's a change from Main Street Manager to Economic Development Director.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, ordinance number 2018, number 4. An ordinance amending the title of Main Street Manager to Economic Development Director. This ordinance amends sections 31.65 of the City of Dayton Code of Ordinances to change the official position and title of Main Street Manager to Economic Development Director. First reading.
Next reading is 2018, number 5. And this is an amendment to the job classification system, and all this is doing is adding that particular one in front of it. Go ahead, Tom.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, ordinance number 2018, number 5. This ordinance amends ordinance 2017, number 20, setting forth compensation and number of authorized positions for employees under the Dayton Job Classification System. This ordinance amends the Dayton Job Classification System by only amending the official title name of the Main Street Manager to the new title, Economic Development Director. First reading.
And then last is ordinance number 2018, number 6, TIF District for Redknock, Holding.
Ordinance 2018, number 6, an ordinance establishing a local development area for economic development purposes within the City of Dayton, Kentucky, to be known as Pottavon Point Local Development Area, the local development area. approving a local development area agreement among the city and the county of Campbell County, Kentucky, Red Knot Holdings LLC, and the city clerk's department. Establish an incremental tax special fund for payment of redevelopment assistance, designating the city clerk's department of the city of Dayton, Kentucky as the agent responsible for oversight, administration, and implementation of the local development area, and authorizing the mayor and other officials to take necessary other appropriate actions as are necessary or required in the connection with the establishment of the local development area. First reading.
All right, that's all I got. Turn it over to the city administrator.
Mayor, got two handicap parking requests. The first one was on the agenda last meeting and it wasn't eligible, and the gentleman wanted to resubmit, so I had Don put it on just so we get a formal motion to deny. He does not meet requirements because he already has a handicap parking space, or I'm sorry, already has off-street parking in his back. This is 501 McKinney Street, so I'd like to ask for a motion to deny that request.
Is that the only issue he doesn't meet is off-street parking?
Yeah, the residence already has off-street parking per the ordinance. Doesn't make you eligible for.
Thank you.
We don't have to make a motion to deny it, we just don't make the motion to approve it, right?
Well, that's what we did, but I wanted to get something more formal on the record. Since
He's already been on, he reapplied. This was here, what, a couple months ago?
I think last one, yeah.
Last month or 2 months ago. So it might be like your formal, but when it comes to getting, you can send a letter saying.
I'll make a motion to deny the handicap parking permit based on the fact that the individual has off-street parking.
Motion by Jeff.
Second.
Second by Danny. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
The second one I have is a request for 314 9th. The applicant does meet the requirements as set forth in the ordinance, so I'd like to ask for a motion to approve.
Make a motion that we accept the application for the handicap parking space for 314 9th Avenue.
Motion by Ben.
Second.
Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Mayor, can I ask a question? Is that short night, Michael?
Yes.
That parking is prime up there because they park on the other side. There's not a lot of parking spots up there. I have no problem with it if it was a handicap parking, but I hope it don't cause problems up there. But I don't know.
That's all I have.
Okay. City attorney's report?
Nothing to report.
All right. Department heads, Donna, do you have anything?
Everybody should have received a copy of the financial reports, and I don't believe everybody's had a chance to see our new part-time clerk. Her name is Joan Hunter, so just stop by the office and meet her. She's doing a good job, and I believe she enjoys the work.
Thank you.
That's all.
Bob?
Yep.
Report for last month. We had a ribbon cutting at Divine Waffles and Wets. That was good on Saturday. Still waiting on Buck. He's waiting for the perfect weather, so we'll get to that. Worked with Michael Lutz over here, the River City News. There's a nice article on our restaurants. And I'd just like to point out all the restaurants that we have as the weather's getting nicer. Trotta's, Waffles and Wax, Bucks, the two marinas all have outdoor seating, so enjoy this good weather while we have it. Completed the recreational trails grant for Sergeant Park. Ended up being a little higher than last time because we take into account we have a lot of dead and dying ash trees up there, so I got quotes this time for about $25,000 to $30,000 to take down those ash trees. There's a lot up there. It's a pretty involved process. They're going to have to open it. There's an old access road from Lincoln down. They're going to have to reopen that up and bring the equipment down. So, but I think if we're going to use that and use those trails, it's good for us to address the ash trees. The report that I got back, there's a lot more ash trees up there than I think any of us really realized. But it's not uncommon for along the Ohio River to have lots of ash trees. That's why we have a little slugger here. So
All right, so that's there. We had a meeting with the Economic Development Committee, proposed changes to CCAP from what we talked about, and also facade structural improvement. For the change, if an improvement, we ran into this with a boiler at Bucks. If an improvement has to be made, but it benefits both the residential and commercial, we'll prorate it based on square footage of the commercial. Example in this case, a few months ago, there was one boiler had to be replaced, and so they got, instead of 50%, they got 25%. So that gives us a catch. Every year we do this, we're going to run across something that we hadn't thought about, but I think we had a good compromise. The building owner was happy. I think it certain needs, and if you went to Bucks this winter and didn't freeze, the boiler worked very well, so that's in there. We also talked about increasing the off-street parking assistance program. We all know how much we need more parking and cars on the street. So this hadn't been updated in 10, 12 years. So we updated that. The other thing we're working on, we have a property tax moratorium we passed this years ago. It's available both for commercial and residential structures. That if you're rehabbing a structure, the city can choose, this goes before you, can offer a property tax moratorium. That means the price that is valued at, when they put the moratorium in, is set for 5 years. And then the improvements, they don't have to pay the city property taxes on that. You guys approve of that for 5 years. It's transferable, so if someone buys a property, let's say for 40, gets the property tax moratorium, it's set at 40, because that's what they bought it at. They put $100,000 into it. PBA decides what its value is. That's not my choice. They make that choice, what it is. We hold it at 40 for 5 years and we can transfer. This does not affect school taxes. Does not affect county. The county has a property tax moratorium for commercial structures and industrial structures. So they can go through and do that. So this is something we have. Honestly, it's something that I think we need to be promoting. I think probably the next step we look at is how do we improve our housing stock, and this is and I would say the parking pattern are two things we can do that both serve a public good and can help us attract people so we have our houses. Those are things that we're working on. We had a really good Main Street meeting last week, probably one of the most productive we've had, and I really look forward to the direction we're going into. That we should have some announcements by next time. We're building up some plans for things we can do in the upcoming year. So Main Street will be running the yard sale again this year, but we don't have the date quite set yet. So 21st? You want to go with that? You got my emails? We're emailing back and forth here. So it will be July 21st. So it's the same. It's the right around the same time as we did last year. So we'll put that out in the mayor's letter and start publicizing that. And I'll have the sign-in form where you can sign it online again, or you can call us. So that's my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Bill?
Mayor, council, good evening. First thing I'll do is the monthly report for April. We had 56 closed cases for the month of April. And again, those are results of people who have come into compliance based on some of the issues, and those others that were left open as of Rich, that they either came into compliance or there was a change in ownership and those were closed and some violations were reissued. For the month of April, I issued 54 letters. 47 were for violations and 7 were citations. 9 were related to failure to report vacant property. 7 of those were violations and 2 were citations. Quarterly report, January through April 30th, closed 129 cases. And again, you understand what those are for. For the letters that went out, there were 152 letters that went out for violations. 41 letters that went out were for citations. Of those, 31 were failure to report vacant property. 26 of those were violations and 5 were citations. That's pretty much all I have. Again, we're going to do a little blurb in the community news for May, reminding people of the grass cutting and the fees and the cost for not cutting your grass, as well as putting out your garbage and making sure that you wrap your stuff in plastic if you're putting out couches, love seats, chairs, mattresses, those kind of things. Just kind of a reminder for the citizens as what needs to be done and what could happen if you don't. Any questions?
Phil, I just want to make a comment. You know I get a lot of phone calls.
I heard that.
Some citizens. But I'm going to tell you what, I think you're doing an outstanding job. I look at this report and I see the reports for April and then the ones you closed and then the vacant houses. I think you're doing an outstanding job. And I don't know how the online thing's been going, but has it been helping you or?
Yeah, I'm probably getting about 5 a week.
That's
so they're coming.
Great job.
It'll start to pick up. Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, council, good evening. You have a copy of my report. Said a couple quick things. Several members attended the FDIC in Indianapolis this week to see our truck. It looks phenomenal. Everybody's pleased with it once it gets in service. We're hoping that's going to happen in the next few weeks. We're going to put together an open house, invite the public, invite anybody who wants to come, do a blessing on the truck and put some firehouse. Members attended Dayton High School's Career Day. Went really well. There seemed to be a lot of interest in the fire and EMS stuff. Radio prices are kind of getting a little bit closer to where we think they're going to be. And a reminder, the Community First Aid CPR is May 19th. If anybody wants to sign up for that, it's $30. That covers your certificates and your CPR card. Any questions?
Yeah, Jim, when did you say the blessing of the truck was?
When? We don't have a date yet.
You'll
No,
send us an email or something?
Yeah, when we receive the truck and have it, we're going to get the training done, and then when everything's ready to go in service, we'll advertise on it.
What about burn permits? Are they available, or are you allowed to burn now or not?
Actually, I'm glad you brought it up. The burn ban went into effect today. The EPA just sent the announcement out today.
So you cannot
burn until September.
Until September? Very good. Thank you.
The community CPR, is that going to be at the firehouse?
It's going to be at the Bellevue Vets.
Bellevue Vets.
It's going to start at 9 o'clock and end at 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. You know, a while back, we used to have members of the fire board would make a report of what actually happened at a fire board meeting, because it's not followed up in the fire chief's report. Then the members of the fire board would say, hey, this is what went on the fire board meeting, for those that don't make these meetings. So I think that's something we ought to get back to. One of you two guys, we're both in to make a report, after we have a fire board meeting.
Great.
I know you don't have them every month.
So Secretary Karen.
That's a great idea. I'm happy to participate, or
We'll have a rice on right now, bring it to the council.
Yeah, because I know they do it down Bellevue, because that's the way it was done when I was chief, so they made it a lot nicer, because in Africa, they were able to fill out, they just have to have a meeting. Thank you.
Y'all have my numbers for the, still doing what we're doing. Any questions on that? All right. We also, the fire department, did partake in Career Day down at the school. A lot of feedback from the kids. So I think they're more over our side, which is nice to see, because the past year or so, it seems that interest has died off. I'm glad those interests are park back up, it's parked back up again, so we have a majority of the kids, so they're having a good time trying on the equipment, playing with tools, and, being able to wear hats and put on a shirt, and, with a badge on it, they thoroughly enjoy it. So, also, I didn't have last council meeting, but we did have a meeting with I think Jay talked about it one time. We did have a meeting with the schools about school resource officers, and it's more, it doesn't apply too much to us because we already have school resource officers. It's for those schools that are wishing to have school resource officers, such as the diocese, and try to come up with a solution to try to get some police officers in the schools. So, we have Officer Lou that's in the schools. One thing we've done and we're doing is doing walkthroughs, through the schools. If, like today, Officer Isabel went through Dimitri's majority down the time at the high school, we'll try to stop by and just do a walkthrough. It just does wonders for the kids. As Josh said, he felt like he was in the Super Bowl. Everybody wanted to high five. He's just coming by high fiving all the kids, and the kids loved it. But that's one thing. This is what we're doing on during the daytime is try to do walkthroughs. So I think the school is the safety, school safety, and the police department as a whole with the school is on the right track. I think our kids are safe. That's all I think.
Any correspondence, Don? Any petitions? Alrighty. Unfinished business.
Madam Chair. Last month I asked, I brought a petition to council from residents at Dayton and Fairview to make it a three-way stop rather than just a two-way stop. You instructed the chief to investigate, and I'd like to know where we are on that.
Looking at that area, it just doesn't seem feasible to put a stop sign there. Monitoring that intersection, it's just the traffic's as slow as it is because of the parking on each side. The cars aren't coming up there excessively. They're always coming through cautiously. Just to add that stop sign in there, we'll see how that's going to.
Well, the issue is that when you're coming up, it's not as much the speed as it is because that's a deceptive intersection. You tend to go left, and if somebody's coming the other way with the parked cars on the sidewalk, that's what's their concern.
That's understandable. Looking at that intersection, I just don't see how a stop sign's going to affect the traffic flow. They're going slow enough as it is. I believe, just when I'm through there.
Have there been any recent accidents there that anybody's aware of?
We also had the comments from the people that were, some of the people in Fairview, that people come up and zip into Fairview, and remember we had that issue with the children playing in the street. And I've been sitting up there and watching occasionally, and yeah, it's a tendency to just stay to your left because it's such a weird triangular intersection, it's so wide, and if somebody is coming the other way, what is the recourse legally on this? Can council make a motion? I respectfully disagree. I agree with the residents up there. But whose call is it?
Council can make a motion.
Yeah, make a motion, direct me to draw up an ordinance to that effect.
Revise the ordinance?
Whenever you're starting to address stop signs and things like that, then I think you probably need an ordinance because all the traffic regulations are regulated under Chapter 71 through 75.
We had that one on Vine Street by the railroad tracks, there was one vote. In that case, I sympathize with the people that are up there. Parking's an issue, it's a narrow street, it's not two-way, and with the design of the intersection that we've inherited, I'll make the motion to put a stop sign.
Before you make a motion, we survey the residents in that area up there. You got more than just one person, up there. There's a whole raft of housing right there. Why don't we get everybody's opinion up there rather than, one small group?
How about if I have that resident that appeared, that made the petition, have them get their neighbors together and come to the next council meeting?
Well, that's fine. They're gonna get their neighbors to support it. I'm just saying to you, I don't know that everybody up there will support it or not. I don't know. You know.
Stops. I'll retract my motion.
Let's get some.
I'll talk to the.
I'll go with you if you want to talk to some
that
people.
sounds good.
We'll go up there and talk to people and see what they say.
That sounds good. I'll retract my motion. Yes, sir.
Bill, you got that? See, we're still on unfinished business. Any more unfinished business? All right. New business.
I mentioned this to you all. I had a special event application, Leslie Carr, for May 12th from 11 to 2 p.m. to use some of the area down by the War Monument at 6th and Berry. I kind of gave her the green light to go ahead, and that's why I threw it out to you all. But I wanted to bring it back for formal approval for you all. So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the special event application for May 12th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a plant sale, so she's going to reach out to vendors.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Ben. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Then had another one from the Dayton Eagles, their annual Rocket on the Porch, May 26th from 6 p.m. until midnight. And they, as in years past, requested to close Berry Street from 5th Avenue to 6th Avenue there. On Berry Street between 5th and 6th Avenue.
Need a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion by Ben, second by Danny. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. We have no executive session. Oh,
Aye.
hold on. Any more new business?
I got a lot to do. You want to go first?
Yeah, I just got one thing, I should have brought it up earlier. We need to have somebody check Dayton Pike, right, to the north, bound lane, right before the curve, right around Chateau. And it's where they put the piping in, all the blacktop's chipping up, and there's a lot of people trying to dodge it, and just, this morning, there was almost a wreck with somebody trying to dodge it. It's a pretty big area.
Yeah, I see that right there talking about. We'll get to that. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Ben, go ahead.
I have a few things I'd like to address. First of all, in regards to last week's Main Street Board meeting, they approved a picnic bench to be purchased through the Catalytic Fund. So so that's also on May 12th. There'll be they paint them, and then there's going to be a picnic bench party, and then they're going to deliver that to the city. Where we put that is up to us. I want to make everybody aware on social media that the Main Street Board will be trying to get some artists and some ideas together. It should be a fun time. I've already done one, and I can't wait to do another. So come on out and paint stuff. Second thing is, Chief, somehow or other, someone thought I was the police department. And they made a kind enough donation. They put it in my mailbox, so I'd like to pass that down to the chief. That's pretty cool. And the idea of gardens is May 12th. The community garden is having every first Friday. They're going to have a cookout on the community garden down on 3rd and Kent. So it's a good time to come down and hang out with neighbors and build that garden up. Harvest time will come and everybody gets to enjoy the harvest. And in the gardening thing, I guess it's kind of a theme this month. A friend of mine, Vicky, from the Northern Kentucky Community Action Commission, has let us know that on Thursday, May 17th, they'll be giving away free plants, seeds, and sets with some kids contest and gardening education. So May 17th, make sure we come out to that and show some big support. I got a flyer if anybody would like to see that. And lastly, I'd like to take today, which is traditionally May Day, which is known for across the world as a labor concerns. We traditionally celebrate it in September, but the rest of the world celebrates it on the 1st of May. With that in mind, I've spoken to some of our people in public works, and they asked me to investigate the pay scale for our city. So I reached out to all the river cities. I reached out to Kentuckians League of Cities, And I found in my studies that we are the second to last in pay as far as lowest and highest. I'm happy to share those details. So I'd like to, we're coming up on our budget session here in the next month. So I know Member Lynn and Paz, right? You guys are on the Finance Committee. I'd like to make sure that the pay that we are paying our employees, not just the Public Works, but every one of our employees, that we're being competitive within our cities, and that when we're getting raises, that these raises are being equally distributed throughout those folks. Because I think we all know when we open up Facebook on a snowy day, everyone raves about how great our Public Works is. I would hate to lose any of those employees, and I want to make sure that we're getting the best employees. So before that comes to our desk, I'd really like to see.
We'll take a look at it.
Please do. And Tom, I want to make sure that I can share these findings with everybody, because KLC said that we did not participate in last year's pay rate or pay schedule survey. We're one of the few cities.
Not that I'm aware of. We have, the one I have is from last year, so it should be.
No, it's all over the records.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a
It's
copy of
all-
mine.
Now, I would, if somebody's looking for that record, of course, they can happily come to the city and request an open record, whether, the ordinance is just in the job classification ordinance, it's a range, the exact pay amounts.
I've got it for all of Northern Kentucky, all of them, us included.
All the data that I've had, I've pulled off any employee names if somebody was silly enough to include them. But I want to make sure that we're taking care of our employees, because without them, we're nothing. So if I can share those findings with council, and you're giving me the okay to do that, I'll send out that.
Yeah, with council, no, you can, if you'll just, what you'll do is send it to Michael, he'll take care of distributing it to the whole.
Oh, I got it.
For you.
Okay.
So that way everybody will have a copy. And the only thing we have to avoid there is that we don't have a six-way conversation via email.
I served on the committee to put together that.
Fantastic.
But if you get that to Michael, he can send it out for you, and that way, we don't have any kind of potential open meeting issues here.
That's, want to make sure I was being legal about it. A Mayday shout out. All right, I think I'm good.
Good. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I was going to do this privately, but I think it's more appropriate that I do it publicly, because it involves the April meeting. When the issue came up about the bond issue for the apartments at Manhattan Harbor, I made the statement that I had just gotten the information on Friday. And I wanted to clarify, on the previous Tuesday, Mr. Giffen had sent to council that the bond issue was going to be on the agenda. And on the Friday email, I believe from Mr. Edge, was the $34 million figure. Up to that point, there had not been any dollar figure. So I just wanted to clarify that that's what I meant on that. And I wanted to publicly apologize to Mr. Giffen. I really did. I know it was a little bit misunderstood at the time in a public meeting. I didn't get the time to explain myself well. You have always been very timely in your responses to my questions and emails, Monday through Friday, the same time I work, so sometimes it's a day gap. But you've always been very responsive to that. And I do apologize to you professionally on that. Over the past few weeks, I don't know if it's a result of the conversation or incidental, I have noticed that you are putting out weekly reports and publishing them online. Thank you. That is what our city needs. We have a lot of people, good people in town, not just on council, that need to stay informed and gets in front of the wrong rumors, et cetera, et cetera. They all want to help, but the more information they have, the more they can help, rather than just the monthly mayor's report in the daily news. I think those are excellent. So as much as you are allowed to make public, I encourage you to do so. And I thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's all I have, sir.
Anyone else?
What was that reaction about?
I think we get more.
Oh, okay. No, sir, that's all I have tonight.
Anyone else? Okay. At this time, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Joe.
Second.
Second by... Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.